I only hope that one day I'd be able to steal something a little more precious than an antique watch.
Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're taking a look at 20 canceled movies and TV shows based on our favorite video games.
UNSC changed the air mixture, not me.
Why should I trust you?
Before we begin, we publish new videos all week long, so be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. Castlevania.
All the stories say the man who lives here has secret knowledge.
I am Vlad Dracula Tepesh, and I do not get many visitors.
Long before Netflix gave us its stellar 4-season show, we were due for a Castlevania movie sometime in the late 2000s. The movie was to be produced by Rogue Pictures, who were best known for Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz at the time. Unfortunately, two major events disrupted the production: the Writers Guild of America strike of 2007 and 2008, and Relativity Media's acquisition of the studio in 2009. Those close to the project have also stated that the Castlevania movie had simply spent too much time in pre-production, going through several rewrites before Rogue scrapped the project altogether in 2009.
I do this last kindness in her name. She who loved you humans and cared for your ills.
Assassin's Creed 2. Though Assassin's Creed had already seen a few short films before, the 2016 movie had a ton of hype behind it. Unfortunately, this hype led to one of the biggest box office bombs of 2016. Despite making double its budget back, Assassin's Creed did not recoup all of its costs in other areas like marketing, nor did it see a single rave review. While 20th Century Fox did greenlight a sequel, Disney reversed that decision after it acquired the corporation in 2019. And it wasn't just one sequel that was planned before the first movie was even out, there were supposed to be 2 sequels.
Not everything deserves to live.
I can't do this.
Bubsy.
Hey,
Bubsy might be one of the oldest tales of don't count your chickens before they hatch in video games. With the rise of platforming mascots in the 90s, Bubsy was planned to be the next big thing. Thing is, you can't plan for success. That didn't stop Coleco Entertainment and Imagination Factory from creating an entire pilot episode for a TV series starring the obnoxious Bobcat, and sponsored by Taco Bell. Unsurprisingly, nobody liked this. Not even Rob Paulson, who voiced Bubsy in this pilot. With no one wanting to pick it up and fund a full season, Bubsy never got another episode for the would-be series. George Romero's Resident Evil.
I'm missing you already.
One of the most interesting points in Resident Evil history was when we almost got a movie made by famed horror filmmaker George A. Romero. Initially, this sounded like a match made in heaven between a hit zombie video game franchise and a famed zombie filmmaker, the granddaddy of zombies, the inventor of zombies. And since we learned about Capcom almost hiring Romero for a Resident Evil movie, fans have been begging for this to come to fruition. Alas, no. Romero worked on several drafts, each one being rejected over rating concerns. For context, the movie would have received an NC-17 rating with each draft. Eventually, the project went to Paul W.S. Anderson, and we got the Resident Evil movies that we know today. Romero's current script can be viewed from the University of Pittsburgh Library via the George A. Romero Archival Collection. Drake of the 99 Dragons.
All dead! And the tattoo! Oh, no!
If you aren't aware of this game, Drake of the 99 Dragons was, and still is, one of the worst video games ever made. Released back in 2003 for the original Xbox, the game was universally scrutinized for its awful controls, poor voice acting, and overall broken technical state. However, much like Bubsy, the developers were counting their chickens before they hatched, thinking Drake of the 99 Dragons was going to be a guaranteed hit. Plans were in place for a comic book series as well as an animated series. But once the reviews started rolling in, those plans were suddenly tossed in the trash, and honestly, probably for the best.
Master, I return to you your soul.
The Legend of Spyro 3D.
I see you, my little glowing friend.
Once upon a time, Activision did want Spyro to be the next pop culture icon, and another company wanted to help make that happen. While Activision's own studios toiled away on the games, the animation picture company acquired the movie rights to Spyro in 2007, with plans to release The Legend of Spyro 3D sometime in 2009. The project went totally dark until 2022, when a movie poster and the script for the movie leaked online. At the time of this video, not much else is known about the movie aside from these two assets, along with speculation over what the budget was set to.
What in the world was that?
I have no idea, but I'm going this way, far from it.
BioShock.
Let's buck weak. You're a weak chopper.
Speaking of budgets, this was a major concern for the BioShock movie back in the late 2000s. After the massive success of the original BioShock, Universal Pictures announced a movie adaptation in 2008 and would include Ken Levine as well as 2K games during production. Sadly, the commercial failure of 2009's Watchmen caused Universal to get cold feet after going over the project's proposed $200 million budget. Changes prompted a swap of directors and a new script, which Levine rejected due to how the project wasn't shaping up to capture the essence of BioShock. Universal then left the decision up to Levine whether the project should move forward or not. Levine wound up pulling the plug on the entire thing. Cloa.
Hey you! Hold up there a minute, you guys!
Given how few games there are in the franchise, we're not sure who was expecting Cloa to get his very own movie. As absurd as it sounds, yes, Cloa was planned to receive a movie adaptation, the announcement being made in October 2016. California-based company Henshin confirmed their plans at TIFF-COM that year, only for the project to go dark over the next 2 years. Eventually, those who were eager to see the project finished received bad news in January 2019. Hitoshi Ariga, who was hired to write the movie, revealed that the Cloa film had been cancelled. Ariga did not specify any particular reasons as to why the project was canned.
I have to tell you something. You see, you really don't exist in this world.
Raving Rabbids. We're not quite sure what has happened with this project, but we doubt it's even in development anymore, let alone active development. In 2014, Ubisoft and Columbia Pictures announced a live-action animated hybrid movie starring the Rabbids with a release window for 2016. Well, 2016 came and went with not a peep regarding where the movie was in production. Then, in 2019, Ubisoft came out with Lionsgate to announce another Rabbids movie, with Robot Chicken creator Stupid Buddy Studios on board to write and animate the movie. Well, here we are in 2024, and neither movie has made its presence known since their announcements. I think it's safe to say they're both canned, guys. Doom 2: Hell on Earth.
Time for this old Marine to retire.
I love you and Bernadette.
Remember the 2005 movie Doom? Remember how awful it was with its writing, acting, and that one CGI shot that was supposed to be like the video games? Yeah, we were supposed to get a sequel to that. And no, it is not 2019's Doom Annihilation. No, there was a completely different sequel planned, and it was planned while the first movie was still in production. Care to guess why Doom 2: Hell on Earth was axed? Yep. It was because the first movie was a commercial and critical disaster. We'll give it credit though. We'll take the 2005 movie over whatever the hell Annihilation was supposed to be. Netflix's Horizon.
When you said we were gonna go hunting, I didn't realize you meant I'd have to track you down.
With PlayStation Productions having a pretty solid track record with projects and partners, many of us were somewhat excited for Netflix's own Horizon TV series. Unfortunately, this show would be canceled not for reasons relating to the games, but reasons relating to the showrunner. When the show was announced in May 2022, Netflix and Sony had already chosen someone to serve as showrunner, Steve Blackman, who had seen great success with the Umbrella Academy TV series. But in June 2024, Blackman came under fire as numerous allegations cropped up about Blackman creating a toxic work environment. Details were not shared as to who chose to pull the plug, though Sony is now looking for a new partnership most likely.
Why are you talking like we'll never see each other again?
Driver. Can you believe it? A third Ubisoft IP failing to move forward with a movie or TV adaptation? February 2002 marked the beginning of a long pre-production phase for the Driver movie that was to be directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. However, the project seemed to have suffered repeated delays as it made incredibly slow progress over the next 5 years. The project has gone completely silent since, with the script being leaked online in 2009. A Driver TV series was announced in 2021, but that was canned less than 2 months after its announcement.
Got a feeling, Leck. I got a feeling it's gonna happen real soon. They're gonna make the hit.
Plants vs. Zombies. Hard to believe we haven't seen a Plants vs. Zombies cartoon of any kind. In 2015, a website known as The Tracking Board revealed supposedly exclusive news about a Plants vs. Zombies movie being in development. Oddly enough, no one else but We Got This Covered seemed to have reported on this news, let alone confirm it. It wasn't until 2022 when concept art for the movie was leaked online. No one knows why the movie was canned in the first place, though it is believed that DreamWorks was set to produce the movie. Sly Cooper.
Everybody be cool. I'm on it.
The Sly Cooper movie is another anomaly that may never get a resounding conclusion. Some may remember that in 2014, a teaser trailer dropped for an incoming animated Sly Cooper movie, slated for release in 2016. Here we are over a decade later since that teaser, and there has been no word as to where the movie is, why it missed its window, or even if the project is still ongoing. It doesn't help that a Sly Cooper TV series was announced a year after the movie's supposed release window. That, too, has been MIA since its announcement, as Sony has not said a word about the movie nor the show. Rainmaker, the folks behind the movie, left the film project in 2017, citing the failure of the 2016 movie Ratchet & Clank that caused the company to re-evaluate itself. As for the TV show, like I said, no one knows what's going on with that.
Why can't we just order pizza like normal people?
Roller Coaster Tycoon. How on earth do you even make a movie based on Roller Coaster Tycoon? We're not quite sure ourselves, but there was a time where Sony Pictures had some idea on how to approach the idea. In 2010, Sony announced it had acquired the film rights to Roller Coaster Tycoon, only to then never speak about it again. Supposedly, the movie did get super deep into production before the whole thing was scrapped. We're curious to see what exactly Sony Pictures came up with, but chances are we'll never know outside of the fact that this existed at one point. Mortal Kombat Devastation.
Well, there's a slow way, and there's a fast way.
We don't have time for the slow way.
That's what I thought you'd say.
Believe it or not, there was a moment where we were supposed to get a third Mortal Kombat movie back in the New Line Cinema era. However, no one knew about this until after some legal troubles began to boil up for Midway Games. As Midway navigated through its bankruptcy filing, Lawrence Kasanoff, producer of both the 1995 Mortal Kombat movie and its sequel, sued Midway in an effort to retain the film rights to the IP. During this lawsuit, Kasanoff had stated that a third movie was still in the works and that his company should retain the rights to Mortal Kombat without Warner Brothers' involvement. Kasanoff ultimately lost the case and the film rights, and Warner Brothers became the new owner of Mortal Kombat.
Prepare for final battle!
Twisted Metal. Long before PlayStation Productions was ever a thing, Twisted Metal did have plans to not be a TV show on Peacock, but a full-fledged movie. Right when Twisted Metal launched on PS3 in 2012, Sony announced a Twisted Metal movie was in development with Brian Taylor as the writer and director. And once again, as we saw with Sly Cooper and Roller Coaster Tycoon, this would be the first, last, and only time Sony would ever say anything about the project. Perhaps they realized Taylor's awful track record with movies like Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, Jonah Hex, and Gamer were not exactly great pieces to go off of. Or maybe it had something to do with the new game turning out to be a financial failure. Either way, we got the Twisted Metal TV show now, and it is a thrill.
If you put the gun down, I'll drop you off as close as I can to where you're going. Deal?
Fine.
Netflix's Star Fox and The Legend of Zelda.
Link, finally you wake.
Unlike Sony, Nintendo definitely keeps its cards close to its chest and prefers everybody be on guard at the same level. Apparently, someone at Netflix may not have understood that because in 2015, one Netflix staff member leaked the news of a new Legend of Zelda show premiering on Netflix. The show had not yet been announced, but Nintendo was so furious that they canceled all plans a month after they had already struck a deal. This leak not only robbed fans of a Zelda TV show, but also a stop-motion animated series based on Star Fox. Given that Sony Pictures is working on a Zelda movie as of 2024, we highly doubt Nintendo is ever going to work with Netflix ever again.
Zelda. You who carries that fragile sword. A Link.
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash will fight to save her! He'll never surrender! He'll vanquish any villain to set his girlfriend free!
By now, you've probably heard about how there was supposed to be an animated Crash series back in the 90s during the original game's development. It didn't move forward after Sony picked up publishing rights, which caused Universal to lose interest in the potential of a show. However, there was another attempt to make an animated Crash Bandicoot series. In 2021, a Reddit post leaked an animation test for an unknown Crash Bandicoot cartoon. Turns out that Amazon Studios and Activision were working on an animated series for the marsupial at one point. What killed the project allegedly were internal conflicts over the show's direction. Not much else is known about the series, and now, internet sleuths within the Bandicoot's fandom are investigating to figure out what exactly happened. And guess what? We don't have answers at the time of this video. People are still trying to find other people.
Crash Bandicoot! If Cortex isn't beaten, he'll rain a salute!
Halo.
That was a joke.
Yeah, no, I've gathered. Hilarious.
There was a point where maybe we wouldn't have had such an abysmal TV adaptation like Paramount's Halo. We could have gotten a brand new movie instead. You could say 2005 was the start of what could have been a movie-making dream team, yet a bold new future for Halo in a different medium. Alex Garland was the writer, Peter Jackson was the producer, and Neil Blomkamp was the director. However, pre-production restarted so many times that it caused the movie's investors to grow agitated. Once 20th Century Fox threatened to pull their funding, Universal Studios got involved and told Jackson and Columbia Pictures president Peter Schlessel to reduce their percentage of box office revenue or the project gets canned. Although Jackson and Schlessel chose to nuke the entire thing, many of the props and set pieces would be reused for the 2009 film District 9. Were you hoping to see any of these shows and movies before they got the axe? Let us know down in the comments, and be sure to subscribe to MojoPlays for more great videos every day.